Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. The multi-party Women's Caucus has slammed people who continue to share the sex tape, which features Free State Legislature Speaker Zanele Sifuba. Earlier this week, IOL reported a leaked video, apparently after Sifuba refused to pay a 300,000 rand extortion to a man who blackmailed her. For more on this, we're joined by human rights advocate Aluta Humbane, who is with us this evening. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, this has been a very disturbing matter with several civil rights groups as well as politicians coming out in defense of the Speaker, saying that her rights are being violated in an already a country that's already prevalent when it comes to gender-based violence. What are your thoughts on the circulation?
I think as a society we need to start to reflect and really critically look at ourselves. For me, I was very, very shocked, hurt and outraged at the same time, because this is a mother and a woman who unabantwana. And at the same token, you know, when I was having a conversation with some of our activist colleagues, one of the questions was, how is she going to have a Christmas with her family? How would the children of Omakilwane look at her? It's one of those things that resonated to me to say, I don't know how can you annihilate a character of a person, because for me, I think as a people, we need to understand ukuthi as a community kufuneka sivikelane, and izinto enjengalezi akumele sithathe njengehlazo, because we are all sexually active. We all engage or partake in sexual activity under close comfort of our spaces. But when it becomes public, it must be something that also we shield one another. So for me, I'm very disturbed by ukuthi abantu basaqhubeka basayibhebhethekisa lento, irregardless of the fact that ukuthi how would they perceive it if it was one of their parents.
Yeah, and this is essentially a violation of somebody's privacy. In terms of the legal standing, what is at stake here when it comes to perhaps, taking this forward and escalating it to the highest courts?
So, if people are found to be continuing to share these videos, this is a contravention of the Films and Publication Amendments Act 11 of 2019, which considers everyone as a distributor. So by virtue of a person sharing content on any platform, it means that they are a distributor. In essence, remember that this is illegal material. There's no copyrights that have been given for this to be shared. Also, the nature of it, it falls under a space where revenge porn in our country is considered to be illegal. It really goes as far as, really goes against everything that we are fighting as AMA activists to say that we want to see gender-based violence ending. If it was a woman, how would it be? I think as a society, ngempela sijabulisa ukubona umzimba womuntu unqunu in a public platform, sikhohle ukuthi lo muntu unesithunzi sakhe kufuneka azivikele nomndeni wakhe kufuneka uvikele. I think really people must understand that there's going to be consequences to this, and I'm glad that after 2019 we saw ukuthi kube khona legislative framework which can see umuntu osherisha le content going ebosha for up to 4 years or facing a fine of up to 300,000. So really, I think this is the time to see our legal action or legal framework in action. And I'm hoping that if, again, this continues to be shared, there will be legal repercussions, not only because this is a person of such stature, but because this is a human being. Also, this needs to set a precedent to say that, yes, economy to South Africa, but asiboneke manje apply.
Yeah, especially because the Speaker has laid charges already, of course, in defense of her own integrity and also being violated.
Yes, indeed. It's a very big violation, and it's also an act of criminality. Ukuthi umuntu uzocela something ngalendlela eyinzuzo. I think in the case of sexual abuse is still very misunderstood in South Africa. Perhaps the face of GBV is still understood as an act of physical violence, but I think right now we are also then beginning to see how the shapes of sexual abuse, emotional abuse manifest themselves, especially in the public space. This is not a particular incident. There has been incidents where on social media people have been exposed, but we have not seen umthetho tata indawo yawo. So we are hoping that this case becomes a precedent for every person who might be violated in such a manner. So silindele from ama activists silindele ukuthi umthetho uthathe indawo yawo nokuthi le mthetho sifakiwe yahlanganiswa ukuthi ivikela abantu sibone ukuthi iyasebenza noma cha.
Yeah, absolutely. The Film and Publications Board had given Twitter an ultimatum saying that you must remove this video by a certain time, or else the matter would then be referred to the Enforcement Committee, which is chaired by Judge Thokozile Masipa. What is the role of this committee, and how would this matter have been handled had the video not been taken down?
That's a very beautiful question. Because, again, I want to reflect on the fact that perhaps we have been, as a country, very ignorant of the fact that this has been happening for quite a long time. It just so happens that now, surprisingly, because it's a public figure, it now draws attention. I also want to perhaps say Twitter has their own regulations, and they explicitly which regulate the sharing of intimate and kind of pornographic content. So perhaps there needs to be proper legal recourse that needs to take place in this instance.
Very well. Thank you so much for your input there, weighing in on this matter, human rights advocate Aluta Humbane. Thank you so much.